Hi everyone! How was your day? Hope that you all doing great. Let's take your favorite drink and dive into our new hottest episode today.
Russia and Elon Musk are having a fiery encounter in Ukraine, the focus of the world at the moment. Many cynical, ironic, sarcastic words are uttered. Obviously, both sides have nursed a deep-seated bitterness toward one another for a long time, and Ukraine is probably just the playground for them. But where's the beginning of the story? Why does Russia hate Elon Musk so much? All this and more in today's episode of Tech Fans.
Welcome to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and hit the notification bell icon to get updated with space, SpaceX, Starlink, and everything about tech-knocking Elon Musk.
Musk has inserted himself directly into the Ukraine conflict while dealing with several legal issues in the U.S. In late February, SpaceX sent the first batch of Starlink user terminals to help keep the country online through infrastructure outages. The terminals have already helped keep the country connected and keep emergency services online. But Elon Musk's company is not done helping in ways that governments around the world cannot. As of March 4th, SpaceX confirmed it had deployed a total of 47 Starlink satellites to the Ukraine. Regardless, Musk also announced a series of updates to Starlink software, meaning it'll be easier for Ukrainians to access the internet on the move. In addition to the user terminal itself, SpaceX also sent over power solutions to keep the terminals online during outages. In a reply, Musk said these included power adapters for car cigarette lighters, solar battery packs, and generators for places where electricity is not available. Based on an internal email first obtained by CNBC, these battery packs being sent to the country are Tesla Powerwall units. The combination of all these new power solutions and terminals should keep some of the most vital communications online, even in total infrastructure outages. But Mr. Musk appears to have riled the Russian government after activating the SpaceX satellite internet system over Ukraine in response to a request from the embattled country's leadership. Russia has stopped selling rocket engines to the U.S. in response to sanctions, Dmitry Rogozin, the head of Russian space agency Roscosmos, said last Thursday. In a situation like this, we can't supply the United States with our world's best rocket engines. Let them fly on something else. They're broomsticks. I don't know what, Rogozin said on state-run TV. Rogozin claimed that since the 90s, Russia had delivered 122 RD-80 engines to the U.S., and 98 have been used. As part of the decision, Russia will stop servicing rocket engines, meaning that the 24 that are unused will be without Russian assistance. However, U.S. Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall said U.S. national security launches won't be affected by Russia's decision to stop supplying rocket engines to the U.S. in retaliation for sanctions against Russia over the invasion of Ukraine. I think our launch needs will be met, Kendall told reporters March 3rd at the Air Force Association's Air Warfare Symposium. ULA said it already has all the engines it needs to complete the remaining 24 launches of the Atlas V scheduled between now and 2025, and the engines are all stored in the United States. CEO Tory Bruno said the company has an agreement with RD-180 manufacturer NPO Energomash for technical support and spare parts. But if that support were cut off, ULA has in-house expertise to maintain and operate the engines. Rogozin afterward was also ridiculed by Musk after suggesting the U.S. would have to go to orbit on their broomsticks. American broomsticks, taunted Mr. Musk on Twitter, as he posted a video of SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket launching another 47 Starlink satellite into orbit. Obviously, Russia has lost its long-held monopoly as the only country able to ferry astronauts to the International Space Station following the flawless manned launch by U.S. company SpaceX. The launch was the first of American astronauts from U.S. soil since the mothballing of the U.S. shuttle program in 2011 that left Russia's more basic and reliable Soyuz spacecraft solely responsible for transporting crews. Since the space shuttle was retired in July 2011, NASA has bought flights for its astronauts on Soyuz at a cost of $86 million per seat. In total, 38 Americans have flown on 35 launches since then, one of which 2 years ago nearly ended in disaster, but which otherwise have been successful. At a total cost of more than $3 billion, this has been an expensive but necessary endeavor to ensure continued American human spaceflight. Now, however, SpaceX private companies return spaceflight to U.S. soil for a considerably lower cost. The cosmonaut Fyodor Yurchikhin once told that the past should be remembered. You can and should be proud of it, but you cannot live on it. And obviously, Russia's once pioneering space industry should take note. Most Russians still believe their country's a leader at the final frontier. Moscow even christened its first approved COVID vaccine after Sputnik, a satellite whose launch in 1957 terrified the West. And while President Vladimir Putin is not an interplanetary travel enthusiast, he's keenly aware of the military and geopolitical implications of a space program. But Russia is not the force it was. It's been hurt by Western sanctions. Worse, a combination of bureaucracy, military secrecy, and a state-dominated economy have failed to foster private space enterprises of the kind driving innovation in the U.S. A new generation of rockets and craft has seen endless delays. There's been too little creativity, too much wasteful spending, and some big malfunctions. The boss of state space agency Roscosmos, Dmitry Rogozin, has responded to private success abroad by denigrating efforts like those of Elon Musk's Space Exploration Technologies Corp. In 2014, he tweeted, "The U.S. might need a trampoline to get its astronauts to the ISS after Washington placed sanctions on Russian officials, including him. He was deputy prime minister at the time." Rogozin has since accused Musk of predatory pricing. Money is part of the issue for Russia. Federal spending has increased in rubles but fallen in dollar terms. Independent analysis Pavel Luzin put 2020 spending on its space program, launch sites, and GLONASS satellite navigation system at a combined $2.4 billion, less than half the dollar level of 2013. U.S. purchases of RD-180 rocket engines, a helpful source of cash, have now dried up. Vital support had also come from U.S. payments for Soyuz trips to the ISS, so it was a wake-up call when Musk venture SpaceX sent astronauts in orbit in 2020. The trampoline worked, Musk quipped. Many Russians who are jealous of Musk's success point out he hasn't gotten where he is without government support, technical assistance from NASA, as well as billions in government subsidies. But the rest of the U.S. space industry gets lots of government money too, and so do the European, Chinese, Japanese, and Indian space programs. Russia probably put their finger on the difference. The private passion of a socially clumsy, irritating, science fiction reading, electric roadster driving geek has done more to establish SpaceX's leadership than any state support could have done. Musk's company is ahead of the game for now, and he won't be easy to catch.
That's all we have today. Thank you for watching and loving us. Don't forget to share your idea about today's episode. Bye!